All right, we are back here on the Just End the Suffering podcast, getting ready for an annual Disney. We're going to break down the NFL schedule release here. All 272 games came out last week, and joining me today, as is tradition here, one of my co-hosts on the Sky Guys podcast, Nick Fraietta, is here with us. Nick, how are you?
We have the hardest schedule in the league and not doing well. We knew that before the release, but still.
They stacked it in such a way that it was very hard to imagine.
They really couldn't, like, honestly, it's such a tough schedule. There's no easy way to put it. So, like, any way would have been difficult. This is just nothing we could have done.
Adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
And I will also say, for all our jokes about like how the schedule like is always all out before the whole show came out, this year 100% of the schedule actually got out by 7:18 p.m. when the schedule dropped at 8.
Yeah. And a lot of teams had their schedules released earlier in the day. The Giants leaked by like 10 to 11 a.m., maybe.
The Giants and Jets are the first full ones out. We were getting dribs and drags, so then everybody else the floodgates started like opening around like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't know. I
They
mean,
don't,
I'm not going to watch it, so I'm okay with it.
yeah, I mean, like they don't care enough anymore. I think they would rather have it leaking throughout the day. Have people going, "Oh, cool! Like this is happening. This is happening." It's sort of like their version of like NBA free agency. Like they want the free agency. Like everybody's talking on social media for like 12 hours.
Right. It's better than it's honestly it's better than a show. Just the constant people talking about it.
Yeah. Plus, like this isn't like I know we talked about the selection show in the past. This is not like the same thing because somebody pointed out to me. He's like, in the selection show, you don't know who's going. We know all the games. It's just a matter of like where they are. There's not really enough to
Exactly.
sort of make it like a dramatic reveal. All right, so we're gonna, as we usually do, we'll break down the locals. We'll talk about the primetime stuff. So, you want to start with your team since you are very upset about this schedule?
Sure.
All right, so we'll go to your team first here. Giants schedule here. Brutal first four games. They start at Washington, at Dallas. Home opener is a Sunday night against the Chiefs. Chargers at home week 4 at New Orleans. Philly on Thursday night. Denver and Philly on the road again. So they both Eagles games within 3 week span. 49ers at home. Bears on the road. Packers on at home. Lions on the road. Patriots on Monday Night Football on December 1st. That one I don't understand. Then they bye in week 14, 3 or 4 at home to finish. Commanders, Vikings at the Raiders, home Cowboys. That's to be determined. The Raider game could be Saturday or Sunday, depending on what the league needs it for. So I know you said at the top of your brutal schedule for the Giants.
It really is. And what makes it so bad, especially so bad, and again, we knew this before yesterday, but all of the games that you look at and they're like, they can win that game. Like again, just look at the teams, forget like the location. The Saints, the Bears, maybe. I don't know, the Bears probably better than them. The Patriots, the Raiders, they're all on the road.
Yeah,
All the teams that they could potentially be better than are all on the road. So it's like they're either playing a team that's better than them or they're on the road. It's like as bad as it could be.
yeah. And if you're a coaching staff and a regime like the Giants are, that is in basically win now mode, and you get this out of the schedule, you're pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, how could you have put this schedule to make it bearable? I don't see a way.
No, I mean like it depends on like what you want to do. I mean like I think obviously two on the road to start in the division is not ideal. That's obviously one thing. And then the first home game being Mahomes and prime time also not great.
Maybe you get like I know like a lot of times early in the season, some of these teams are not like they didn't find themselves yet. So maybe you get a situation where one of these two teams in the first two games haven't found themselves yet, and the Giants sneak one. But I wouldn't count on it.
You probably want that Saints game or that Bears game earlier if you want to like give yourself a little foundation.
Yeah, you get out of the gate hot a little bit, but then again, we say this all the time. We look at the schedule. Sure, if you go back and listen to our 2024 schedule release with knowing what we know now, we sounded like idiots.
Oh yeah.
You play the games you never know. Like if I told you last year at our show in May that Washington's going to make the NFC Championship game, you would have laughed me off the podcast.
Yep. That's for sure.
So you never know. I'm not saying the Giants are going to make the NFC Championship game, but you never know. Maybe someone gets hurt on one of these other teams. The Giants are better than them. They sneak a win, or they like for example in 2022 they beat the Packers and the Ravens in back-to-back weeks. We all thought they were going to be 20 point, 10-point underdogs in both those games, and they won them. So you never know. You got to play the games.
Yeah, you have to play the games here. I think of those first six, I mean, the Saints, I think, is the most winnable of the bunch. I think there's a chance they could sneak the Chargers game out as well because that's a West Coast team flying east playing a 1 o'clock game. That's why the Chargers usually don't do well, and even under Harbaugh. So, like, I think you could get that one. But like, I think you're in a spot here. I mean, you got the Eagles twice, you got both the division games, you go to Denver, like the 49ers week 9. There's a very real chance that like Dable and Shane don't make it to the bye week, in my opinion.
And there is, and I just don't know if they don't. What was ownership expecting?
Yeah. Well, we know that he's not had the most reasonable expectations in recent years.
No, it's just to me it's understandable if they go into that bye week with like 3 wins.
Yeah. I will also
Yeah,
add,
I wouldn't even be like disappointed. I would because I want them to win more games, but like I wouldn't even be like surprised.
yeah. All right. So you want to go to the Jets next?
Yeah, let's do the Jets. I haven't looked at the Jets one yet, so this will be good.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find where I have all these tabs open for the Jet
Or
one.
you look, you just never know. Even some of these really good teams, like if you get a pass rush, and the Giants have tried to build their pass rush, and you can keep getting to the quarterback, any game's possible.
Yep, let's go to the Jets here right now. The Jets open with two at home. They have the Steelers and potentially Aaron Rodgers coming back in the building. They host Buffalo. They go
Where
to
where are they showing if they're home or road? Oh, the green and the black.
yes,
I don't like it. Hard to see.
yeah, Tampa at Miami, and Miami is a Monday Night Football game, the first game of a doubleheader. The Cowboys, Broncos in London, and the Panthers the next three games. The Bengals, then they the week 9 bye coming out Cleveland at New England on Thursday Night Football. Ravens on the road off Thanksgiving hosting the Falcons and the Dolphins at Jacksonville, at New Orleans, New England at home, and at Buffalo. So I think there is interesting scenario here at the Jets because you look at that schedule here, like if they can sneak one or two, a couple out early, and Aaron Glenn is what you think he is, I think there's a chance the Jets could be a sneaky overplay because they're total, I think it's like 5.5 wins. And you look at the backstretch there, especially that Jacksonville, New Orleans, New England kick, they have a chance towards the end to like make some noise if they can, get a couple early.
They do. The beginning's pretty tough, but looking at like really the whole second half of the season, Cleveland, New England, forget Baltimore, but like Atlanta, are
Coming north,
okay.
coming north
Yeah,
and
they're not like some stacked team. Miami in December at home is like playing against a college team.
yeah, the
They
Jets
just
beat
can't play in the cold. And honestly, do you think Tua's going to make it to December? Probably not.
the Jets beat the Dolphins in January last year at home.
Let's mark this down. That I say the game week 14, the Dolphins come to the Jets. I'm not saying the Jets will win. Tua will not play.
You're saying Tua is going to be injured for that game.
Will not play in that game, and the Jets are going to be like they'll probably be underdogs anyway, honestly, but like 1.5 or whatever. It's going to be like a game, and then Jacksonville, New Orleans, New England again. Like that's a pretty easy stretch they have there from that Browns game all the way down to the last game of the season, or before the last game of the season against Buffalo.
Yeah,
And
the
of course that game's in there, but that's not that difficult of a stretch.
yeah, the key here is like if you want to have any hope for the Jets this season, if you can get to the bye at 3-5, you have a chance to have some fun. I think. If you anything less,
Uh,
it's over.
you think it's not a coincidence that they put Pittsburgh at week 1, just assuming their quarterback will be Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, because they can even justify it, say, "Oh, it's Justin Fields playing his old team."
Right. Right. And are we going to get any Aaron Rodgers news anytime? Do you think he just knows he wants to sign there but doesn't want to do off-season stuff?
He's waiting until after all the mandatory shit's over before he signs.
Yeah.
All right,
But
so
it seems
Giants, Jets are done. Jets schedule far easier in terms of winning percentage here. I think the Jets are like middle of the pack. I think based on expected wins. So it's just a matter like if they have good coaching, I think they could be a sneaky surprise team in terms of like they might be fight like closer to that wild card than people think they are right now.
we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Would you like to go prime time, holidays? What are you feeling?
Let's do prime time. Let's just go chronological. Thursday, then Sunday, then Monday.
All right, so we will start with Thursday night football on Prime. They have a very stacked schedule here in terms of games. Like obviously they start with Washington, Green Bay. They have Buffalo, Miami as their first two games. A lot of division games. A lot of the teams popping up here twice because they take advantage of the CBA rules where they do not have to play these wretched teams on Thursday Night Football. You see, the Texans the only AFC South team to get a Thursday night game. There's no Saints. There's no Panthers. They
There's no Titans Jaguar game.
Yes. Yeah, Titans Jaguars have been basically banned from Prime. Like
Yeah.
they
Every Thursday night game the last 12 years has somehow been Titans Jaguars, but it's not on the schedule this year.
yeah, you got the Bears Eagles on Black Friday, you got the Broncos Chiefs on Christmas night. So what do you think about the Thursday night schedule?
It's pretty good.
Yeah. It helps when you can
It's
basically
pretty good.
it
I
helps.
don't know. Like, why don't you look at the list and tell me, is there a game right here that you see? Now, of course, you're a Jets fan and I'm a Giants fan, so those kind of go against what I'm going to say here. But is there a game that you look at and say, "Oh, that's a snooze fest. I don't care."
Well, I mean, to the outsider, Jet Patriots always gonna care.
Right. To the outside of the Jets and the Giants game is because the Giants are they're going to get blown out, and the Jets Patriots game you're going to say who cares. But other than that, and us being fans of New York, I love to watch the Jets play. I'm sure you like watching Giants games when they're on national television just because they're New York. But like I I don't see a game on here that to me is a snooze fest. I'm excited for every one of these games.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's also important to note here in terms of the things here. We talk about how that week after Thanksgiving is always a better Thursday night game because they have the full week to get ready. Lions, Cowboys after Thanksgiving.
I like that. They should make that like a well, they can't do it every year because they don't play each other every year, but like when they can, that'd be great.
They always put two teams from play on Thanksgiving the next week. That way they have like the full week of rest.
Yeah, I always do play, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it worked out that way. I do
I
like
think Denver played Kansas City this year, didn't they?
on Christmas.
Yeah, must have. No, they didn't. They didn't. I'm thinking of another. I think it was the year before.
Yeah, it was they played the
Or
Raiders.
They played on Thanksgiving night last year, I think.
No, the Chiefs have not played on Thanksgiving since like 2006.
Well, Chiefs Broncos played on a holiday in one recent year. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Patrick Mahomes is the reason why, and Chiefs want to be own Christmas and be like a regular team on there.
Yeah,
All right, so good. I think solid Thursday night schedule, in my opinion.
I agree. I looked at the three of them, and Monday was actually one that was surprising to me, very good. But I know we'll go to Sunday now. But when we get to Monday, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, we'll go to Sunday night football here. There is a good mix of games on here. They got some bangers early. They got Ravens, Bills in the proper week one slot. This doesn't count the kickoff game, which is theirs. You get like Packers, Cowboys week four, gonna be a huge draw. You get obviously Chiefs, Lions, be a lot of fun week six. There's some good numbers here. Like there's some questionable pick games on the back end, but I do think like they got some really good games early on and a couple of like really interesting ones spread out throughout the season.
Yeah, and again, I'm a Giants fan. So to me, like that people look at that Kansas City Giants game and they go, "Oh, you got to be kidding me." But I'm excited for that one. But I also think the Giants game with Kansas City, I say this every year on this podcast, and I tell you all throughout the season too. When you have these prime time games, typically, now not always, because sometimes they're double headers, but for the most part, there's only one game on TV. So if
Yeah.
you're going to watch football, this is the game you're going to watch. I hate when we see two teams, one team's bad, one team's good, and the good team's home. It's like, what's the point in watching this game? Oh, it's tune in to watch the Chiefs play against the Jaguars. The Chiefs are home. I don't want to watch that. The Chiefs are going to blow them out. But when the Jags are home, in this case, when the Giants are home, it could be a game because they're home. You never know what's going to happen. Team got to travel. It's going to be, well, I guess it's not going to be cold. It's going to be week three, but see my point. If a cold weather team has to go, or a warm weather team has to go to a cold environment at the end of the year, like stuff like that, just road games, even though the team's much worse, things can happen. So, like in this case, with the Giants being home, just because they're home, I'll give them some sort of life and some sort of chance to play in this game. Where if it was in Arrowhead, forget it. Don't even watch the game.
Case in point, week five. I have no idea how this got on the list because this is straight
Exactly.
out City.
But if you flip it around, are you interested?
I say
A little bit. If you flipped it around, are you a little interested?
in Patriots, Bills, and Buffalo.
I'm saying if you flipped it around, if it was Patriots Bills in New England, does it perk your interest a little bit more?
A little bit more, but like this is basically
A
saying
little bit.
this is like the Patriots like, that being on here makes no sense to me because like this is a team that won 4 games last year.
I think a lot of people are very high on them this year, so I'm very curious to see how they do.
Yeah, so I think other than that, it's like you got a lot of obviously you got your 3 Cowboy games, your 3 Chief games here, and we'll get to Thanksgiving a little bit here, but like they did a good job sort of like getting like the big teams on for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, who's a big team who's not on here? They're all on here.
I mean, like representative enough is what I'm saying.
I
'Cause,
don't see. There's
'cause,
one team I don't see on here. Maybe I'm just missing. No, I see them. Never mind. I was gonna say I didn't see the Rams, but they got week 12 right there.
yeah, the Rams have a home game against the Bucks week 12. That's their one Sunday night game here. So
Baker Mayfield revenge game.
yeah. We'll go to Monday night, which is also has all those double headers. And they front load double headers this year to basically assume like, okay, like we want to sort of get like the good as many games on here early because like putting them later in the year makes it more of a crapshoot these teams are good or not. So Vikings Bears the first game of the year Monday night. So intrigue there with the Ben Johnson coaching debut. Got a doubleheader, 2 of the 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock ones in week 2 and week 7. You have the more traditional 7:15, 8:15s, and 4 and 6. The Jets are in one of those here. Some big games early here. We got Lions Ravens on this schedule. You have you have I think Bucks Lions gonna be fun. You got this big stretch in the middle here. The Commanders at the Chiefs, the Packers hosting the Eagles on here. You have some Eagles Chargers late in the year. I will say though, I don't know how Giants Patriots got put on here.
I, yeah, so this seems to be a recurring thing with the Patriots, and I want us collectively to keep our eyes on this.
Yeah.
I I think the world, meaning the media people, the NFL, they kind of know something with the Patriots that we don't.
Or they think they do.
It reminds me of the old-fashioned saying, like, when the bet makes no sense, just take it.
Yeah.
Like when you see a game and it's like, let's say for example this this Jets Dolphins game, the Jets were -6 in Miami. You're like, that makes no sense. Just take it because they know something we don't. I feel like the Patriots are that team this year. I feel like, or maybe they're just, they're just dead wrong about them. But I think people are really high on them.
Yeah. I just think like there's a decent chance. I know this is Thanksgiving week. Like this to me, there's a chance this is like a 3 win versus like 4 win situation by the time this game rolls around. And you're like sitting here begging, like, why is this on? Why can't I get something else on?
Yeah, and could this be moved out?
It can be moved out, but like remember it's Thanksgiving week, so it's not a lot
When
of
can they bring them?
I think it's like about like 2 weeks before, but remember, this is Thanksgiving week where they have the triple header, they have Black Friday,
There's
like
less options on moving it.
less options to move it, which is why I'm surprised that this is here.
Well, I guess if it's a bad game, you can always watch Survivor Series.
Or go Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
All right. So any overall thoughts on Monday night schedule? I think of the three, I
No,
think
I was just overall thought was that I was impressed with it because Monday night usually sucks, I feel like, and this wasn't that bad.
more competent now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think like the double header and everything. And also note the week 7, 10 o'clock is the ESPN Plus exclusive. So you got to have ESPN Plus unless you live in Houston or Seattle.
Don't think I have it. I don't know. I don't think I have it. Oh, wait, I do have it. No, I do. All right, we're good.
So you can watch it.
We're good. I have it.
All right, so now we'll go to I'll go some Thanksgiving football.
Yeah.
All right, so
I don't know a lot of it. I only really knew the Giants schedule, so I like going into this fresh with you.
we'll go to NFL on Thanksgiving. Massive Thanksgiving slates here because you know how we complain about like, oh, they don't really care because they know people are turn the TV on anyway on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Not the case this year. We have the monster player. We've got Packers Lions on Fox. The Chiefs at the Cowboys at 4:30 on CBS. Bengals Raiders at nightcap here. And I know they have done interviews about the schedule, and the NFL has made it clear like CBS wanted the Chief game there. They want to try and set the record for the most people watching a football game. And there's a chance that happens in this one.
Yeah, and what's helping so much with Thanksgiving now is the Lions being good.
Yes.
Where, like as you said, they just no one's gonna watch anyway. Who cares? The Lions game, but like the Lions are good. Let's throw the Packers at them. What they've done before. They put the Packers on here before against the Lions a couple of times, if I remember. But like having the Lions be a good team completely changes Thanksgiving because the Cowboys are always going to be relevant, even if they go 1-16. The Cowboys are going to be relevant, but the Lions being relevant helps. It elevates Thanksgiving so much.
Wild thing about here,
I also feel like, am I wrong? The game is usually 12:30, not 1 o'clock.
they moved it this year to make it more in line
I
with
love that. Love that because I can never. It's always a little too early. I'm cooking. I got a turkey in one hand, potatoes in the other. And I'm like, the game's on. I can't even watch it, and I miss most. I miss half the game. This is so much better.
yeah, very fascinating schedule here. And depending on your state of mind on the Cincinnati defense, there's a chance the Cowboys are the worst team on Thanksgiving, which is very rare.
Right, and I think Dallas has definitely improved from last season. I mean, just having Dak back alone makes them a little bit better, but they had a pretty good offseason as well. And if they're the worst team on Thanksgiving, you got to stack Thanksgiving. This is all. This looks awesome.
Yeah, and that night game I know is always tricky because like you deal like people might want to go to sleep after the with the food coma here, but you got Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I mean, even if it's not like, even if the Bengals are underachieving, if their defense sucks and whatnot, like you're going to see a lot of points in this game, which is always exciting.
Yep. And Christmas, we already talked about the Chief game. That's the nightcap on Prime. We have now like the Netflix doubleheader is back. So we got two games here. Dallas and Washington at 1 o'clock. Detroit and Minnesota 4:30 here. So this is a very 2024 stacked window here with big bet on the Commanders staying relevant and the Vikings like with McCarthy, but like I think this is a chance to be a very like fun Christmas. And I know like the NFL is making moves on Christmas now. They're trying to encroach on the NBA's turf, and I feel like they are going to keep scheduling these strong games, get people into the habit of I have to watch football on Christmas.
Yeah, and these games are pretty good, and the Netflix thing worked really well last year. I feel like last year, if you remember, I don't know how long they've been doing the live on Netflix, but the first thing I remember being live on Netflix was that Jake Paul boxing match.
Yeah, it was a disaster.
And it was a disaster. Forget the fight. I'm not even talking about the fight, but the presentation was such a disaster with the lagging and this and that. And they really fixed it for the Christmas games last year. So live on and now WWE's live on Netflix every week, and they do it really well. Like I never have any lagging issues or anything. So they really fixed that. And these games in particular have potential to be fantastic because three of these teams were in the playoffs last year. The one that wasn't was Dallas, and what world are we living in if Dak Prescott didn't get hurt?
Who knows?
Probably a world that still didn't make it, but they were a little bit better.
Yeah. I'll throw this out here too. I do think in terms of the Netflix Christmas scenario here, like the NFL has now said like we're gonna play on Christmas every single year going forward. We're gonna try and play three games every single year. Obviously, Prime got the extra game because like they were on a Thursday, but like the Friday, it's gonna be you're gonna have a triple header next year on Friday. It's Christmas on a Friday in 2027, 2026.
2026 Christmas. Oh yeah.
So the NBA is gonna be losing a lot of ground. I know that the rumors going around now. The NBA is even talking about like maybe we should put some games on Christmas Eve.
I think that's a good idea for them.
You would support NBA on Christmas Eve because obviously nothing goes
Yeah, I
there.
mean, if you can't beat them on Christmas, you want to get you might as well do something because I'm not watching the NBA on Christmas.
Yeah. Not the NFL's there. It's also Christmas also is very hard because like it's sort of like you trying to do sports, but I do think like like there's a lot going on. Like I prefer my team not be on Christmas because like you have all the family stuff, like you're doing the dinner, you're doing the presents. Like it's very hard to just like block off like, oh, my team is playing. I need to like, be focused for like 3 hours.
Yeah, we have neither of us have had to run into that yet
Well, you did a couple years ago with the Giants.
on Christmas Day.
Yeah, they played the Eagles a couple years ago.
Yeah, but you don't have to watch that. When they play the Eagles, they don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are games that don't count when they play the Eagles. You don't even bother watching.
And I remember I think it was like Tommy DeVito got ran off the building. All
Well, there
right.
you go. See, but uh, yeah, but you're right. Like if your team's actually good, like when was the last time we could both say that? It's been a while, huh? But
Yep.
like when the team was actually good and you're playing a meaningful game in December and it matters, like then I would cross that bridge when I get there. Like how would I deal with the fact that I have like family and whatnot to do, but and presents and all that stuff. But let's get real, Mike. That ain't happening for a long time for either of us.
Nope. Last thing here, go to the week 1 schedule here, which I think is obviously you got the kickoff game. You have the YouTube exclusive Sao Paulo international games in the Chiefs and the Chargers on Friday night. That you can watch that for free on YouTube. You got the pretty solid 1 p.m. slate. And Jet Giant fans get used to the fact that you're going to be playing a lot of games against each other. They've combined 25 1 o'clock games, the Jets and Giants. I think like, at least like 7 or 8 times they're playing at the same time against each other. So you want to double Disney very hard unless you have two screens.
A lot. It's always fun when you when you look at the beginning of the season
Yeah.
because you have some teams playing each other. Like it's just how the schedule works, where someone has to win. So like that Jaguars and Panther game,
Somebody's going to know.
one of those one of those teams is going to be 1-0. I mean, assuming they don't tie, but like one of those teams would be 1-0, and it kind of makes me laugh because it's like let's assume that like let's say the Bills beat the Ravens. That'd be a hard fought victory. Like the Bills did it. They just like they did in the playoffs. They beat the Ravens, and then like the Jags win, and it's like, oh, the Jags have a better record than the Ravens. And you're like, that doesn't. It's just stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. CBS has a doubleheader week 1. They have two NFC games, their league games. They have the like NFC like hosted games of the Lions and Packers, and they have 49er and there's Rams, Texans, the other 425 game.
So we only have four games in the 4 o'clock window
Yes.
on week one. I don't think there's. I think there's only 1 week all year where there are 5 games in the 4 o'clock window. I looked at that already.
I think it's
They
like
seem to be doing
week
four
15
o'clock.
is a doubleheader where they think there's like six in that window.
I think that's the week I'm talking about.
Yeah. But they try and have like at least like
Week
they
15 has 5 4 o'clock games, is what I've heard.
yeah.
And that's the only week with that many.
Yeah, most times like four, 3 or 4.
Yeah, I just like when there's more. I like, when I'm watching like a red zone or something and it doesn't seem like I'm just watching the full, like, because usually what happens is it ends up with three of them. Two of them suck and one of them's a good game. And the one that's a good game, we end up just watching that game and then we get little bits and pieces of the other ones. I like when there's a bunch of games going on. I'm jumping back and forth, especially when you have some bets going or some some fantasy implications. I kind of like when there's a lot of games on, and when they flood the 1 o'clock, there's usually a couple games you don't even get to. Like week one, we're not even going to see that Jaguar Panther game on the red zone if you have it.
Yep.
So I just
Looks
wish it was a little more evenly distributed, but I understand it's not about our fantasy team. It's not money.
it is. And Nick, once again, thanks for taking the time to come on here. I appreciate it. People want to follow us over on the Sky Guys. How can they do that?
At Sky Guys Podcast. And you want to email us, you can email us at skyguyspod@gmail.com.
Yeah, and as I mentioned on the Sky Guys podcast, you're going to get the Andor series review feed drop in this feed as next week's episode. So if you want it sooner, make sure you're subscribed because we have a lot of fun stuff coming over there.
Yeah, please, please subscribe.